All right, so we're going to play a little game here. I've got 8 receivers, and you guys are going to have to keep 3 and cut 5. You ready?
Okay.
First off, Zay Flowers.
Cut. That's a hard cut.
That was pretty quick.
Not a Pro Bowler.
Not a Pro Bowler. Any logic behind that one, or are you just not messing with Zay Flowers?
How long has Zay Flowers been in Baltimore? Like 3 years?
I think that was his sophomore year last year.
2 years? There's a reason why everybody talks about how Lamar's never had weapons and how we thought last year was the year. But then, like, Isaiah Likely was only good for 2 weeks. And Rashad Bateman was only good for 1 week. And Deontay Johnson always sucks at football. Like, Zay Flowers is not enough to give Lamar an excuse. And I don't think he ever will be, because I think last year was kind of his ceiling. There's nothing elite about his game to me other than that Lamar's a great play extender that gives Zay time to get open.
Interesting. Tara, any thoughts?
I feel the same exact way. I think he's a good constant.
Okay.
But I don't think that he will ever be number one. Maybe number one in Baltimore. But
not a lot of competition there.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a good consistent receiver.
Gotcha.
That's a kinder way of putting it.
All right. Next receiver, George Pickens.
Cut. I'm really hoping this list gets better. You can go first, though.
I don't want to cut George Pickens just because of the fact that I love George Pickens.
Okay.
But I mean, I just went from a consistent guy to a not consistent guy. You know what I mean? I love watching him play, but like he has some very big breakout moments and then just nothing.
I feel you. I understand.
Yeah, I think the best way I could put it is that I like Zay Flowers better than I like George Pickens. People really like angry football. They like pretending that Guardian caps ruin watching the game, which it so doesn't.
Yeah.
They like complaining about the hip drop tackle even though they don't know what it is. They like Dan Campbell. They pretend to hate Mike McDaniel. I know you like Dan Campbell, but it's like if we're talking about actually watching the game, what does he add to it? Like really cool interviews. That's great.
That's about it.
But it's like I don't watch football just so I can say heck yeah and have a beer in my hand and gamble. Like I watch football because I appreciate the sport. And George Pickens doesn't make the sport easier to appreciate. And he also got folded like a cheap lawn chair by Jordan Lewis. So cut George Pickens. Get him out of there, bro.
But
Clip
I
that
mean,
one.
you get to watch, some WWE at the same time though.
Yeah, but like now DK's there, and DK's an actual
So
specimen.
it's even more.
Over under 2.5 games that both receivers get suspended in the same game.
That's
Where
a
it's
really
just-
good line.
It's just the Steelers quarterback throwing to like Jalen.
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to say 2. But they could each be suspended 4 times in the year. It's just having both of them out. Like, I feel like Tomlin's
They'll take
too.
turns.
Tomlin is going to have a system.
Week 1, DK, you're out. Week 2, George.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. That was good.
They're not playing on the same snap ever.
Number 3, T. Higgins.
I'll go keep. We like T.
We love T.
Yeah, I'll keep him.
Interesting. I think he'd be a number 1 on like 25 other teams.
I think when this list was made, it might have been a little bit different too. But like T right now, yeah, I totally agree. He's definitely stepped out of Jamar's shadow, which is insane because Jamar just had the best year that anybody had last year as far as wide receivers go. But yeah, I mean, you talk about anywhere other than like Minnesota, Dallas, Cincy, where is T not going to be the receiver 1? I think I'd take him as a receiver 1 over Brian Thomas Jr., who was elite in his rookie year.
Over Tyreek Hill.
I mean, given that Tyreek doesn't like playing football anymore, yeah.
Not for Miami, at least. That's fair.
Miami has, given that Waddle's the receiver 2 there, Waddle's another one of those receivers that like could be a receiver 1 a lot of other places. He'd absolutely be the receiver 1 in Buffalo if that's what you're...
That's my guy.
Yeah.
Love to hear that. Anyways, T. Higgins.
I love T. Higgins. T. Higgins is a great receiver. Like you said, like any other team, he'd really be a wide receiver 1. You know what I mean?
Like Buffalo?
Yes, like Buffalo.
1,000%.
Yes.
He'd
like
be
Buffalo.
he'd be the receiver 1 in Pittsburgh this year with DK and George Pickens.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. I don't necessarily
I don't
disagree.
really think
but
that's a hot take at all. I think it's just
people wouldn't talk about it, but yeah. And I like DK. I've been praying that he gets out of Seattle, finds a place where he's utilized properly. But I don't think he's going to get drastically better. Like, I think at most he's a 1,200 yard receiver. Having a big body and being fast doesn't necessarily translate to being a great receiver. T. Higgins is elite.
Dude, going along with like the last segment talking about Justin Herbert, it is such a shame that they didn't get DK Metcalf, bro. Like, you couldn't have given up a second and a seventh. Like, could you imagine Justin Herbert with DK Metcalf with that arm? Like, that suits him so perfectly, and that's just terrible that they couldn't manage to get that done.
100%.
It goes back to them just failing him all the time, bro.
Exactly.
So sad.
Yeah. But
Chargers ownership hates Justin Herbert.
they really do. That's 3, right?
That's 3.
Okay.
But we only got 1 keep so far.
Okay. Y'all keep track of your keeps because I'm gonna get lost. Number 4, Drake London.
I don't know how good this list is going to be. This is such a borderline because I think he has a lot of upside. To me, he's comparable to Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson's a little bit better. But London has so much upside, and maybe Michael Penix is going to turn him into a 1,400 yard receiver.
I mean, what was he last year? Like 1,200? Because he definitely hit the 1,000 yard mark.
Probably in that threshold. And once again, I mean, who has he had? He had Kirk for half a year, Penix for a few games. Like, I see a lot of promise in Drake London. I'm gonna say cut for the sake of, I think there's probably like a Jetta CD Jamar lineup about to come up, and I'm gonna have to cut a guy that I don't even want to cut. I don't want to make it harder for myself later on.
I don't watch Atlanta at all. I don't pay attention to them.
You're wearing a Falcons shirt right now, Tar.
This is prime, bro. This is prime.
Let's just put it like this. Drake London would absolutely be the wide receiver 1 on the Buffalo Bills.
100%. Wide receiver 1 in Buffalo, Green Bay, and the Chargers. Those are like the 3 bottom of the barrel receiving teams.
Like, you have decent receivers, but none that are bona fide number 1s.
Shakir, 5,000 yards next year.
Are we keeping or cutting Drake London?
I'll cut.
Okay.
I'm just going with you.
This one's tough. Number 5, Puka Nacua.
You can pick first.
I'm
Keep?
keeping Puka.
I like that.
He's just fun to watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's very skilled. He's just a really skilled receiver. You know what I mean? He balls. What are you laughing for, bro?
Clip that.
Oh, wow. No. What were you saying?
He balls. I'd want to see him be more consistent, and I think he has a very, very high ceiling. And I would take him over all the ones that I cut. So.
I would take him over all the ones that I cut, but I think I'm still gonna cut him.
Wow.
And here's why. Cooper Kupp in his first year with Matt Stafford it's the best receiving season I've seen in my life. It was the best Triple Crown probably ever. Just incredible year.
Yeah.
And it fell off very quickly after that. To me, it's the equivalent of like when the Niners gave CMC 300 carries and 100 receptions, and he had huge leg issues the year after. It's like you just can't abuse a player like that. Cooper Kupp's gone, and I think Stafford will find a way to utilize Devontae Adams, but it's probably going to be for at most 8 targets, 5 receptions a game. They could be big receptions, but Puka's going to be the go-to. Probably 15 targets in a good amount of these games, and I think he's going to start to burn out at a certain point. He's also a smaller body. Tank Dell is even smaller, but Tank Dell can't really play. He's just too small. And I think Puka's on that borderline of like long term. I don't know how long it'll last. I don't know if he's not sharing 15 targets a game with Cooper Kupp. I don't know that he can sustain that personally.
But like, of course he's gonna get number 1 targets in LA. Like, at this point in his career, Tay Adams isn't gonna be leaned on as heavily as Puka should be. Like, honestly, if Tay Adams is getting 5 catches and 8 targets a game, that's a lot more than Cooper Kupp was getting last year.
Yeah.
Like, Puka dealt with some injuries last year, to be fair, but I mean, could totally see him putting up 14, 15, 1,600 yards with Devontae Adams. Like, I think specifically this year, I don't know how long Stafford's going to maintain this level of production, but I think this year they could absolutely be a lethal duo.
Yeah, but I would say it really depends on how this year goes. If he misses, 6 or 7 games like he did last year again, I think we kind of know. I think the story's already written. It's
That's
already
fair.
in ink. It's that he's just too small to sustain that level of play for very long. His style, he just gets too many targets for his own good. He's not a big enough body to last for, a 12-year career at that production.
Right, that's fair. Moving on.
Hold on real quick. How many are we cutting?
5.
5.
5. Okay.
Keep 3,
You've
cut
kept
5.
2, though.
Moving on. Number 6.
Okay.
Jalen Waddle. Now, before you say your answer, would he start on Buffalo?
I feel like every single one of these receivers on this list would probably start on Buffalo.
Receiver 1 on Buffalo, though.
Yes.
How many targets would he get from Josh Allen? Are we talking about receiver 1 like he's going to be Amari Cooper? He's going to attract so much attention from the media that they won't shine their lights at the other players' eyes. No,
Okay.
like we're talking about he's getting 10 targets a game.
I think he would be a Gabe Davis on Buffalo.
That's not even a receiver 1, though.
No, but he's a better Gabe Davis. He's a Gabe Davis that can catch balls.
That's 3 touchdowns in a playoff game, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's fast.
That was one of the greatest playoff
He can
performances.
catch a deep ball.
Yeah, he can.
So that's literally what we use. We just imagine. So Jalen Waddle, deep. He's not open. Shakir.
That said,
It's a
though,
great duo
that
right
archetype of the speedy guy who could catch 3 touchdowns in a clutch moment, clutch game, that's Jordan Addison, who's not a receiver 1. Gabe Davis was not a receiver 1. Addison could
He's
be a
in that
receiver.
discussion.
He could be a receiver 1 some other places, but there's a huge drop off between him and Jay Jettis. And Jay Jettis is a top 3 at worst receiver in this league. But like,
I'd take Addison over Lad McConkey. I'd take Addison over...
that's probably
Jalen
fair.
Waddle.
But like, I don't think the Chargers want Lad to be receiver 1.
Fair.
I don't think. I mean, the Dolphins clearly don't want Waddle to be receiver 1 because they signed Tyreek to a 2-year deal instead of drafting somebody. I think it's arguable that. I mean, I think Waddle is above Addison personally, just for the sake of he's a better route runner, he's a better textbook receiver. I'm probably going to keep Jalen Waddle for the record. But I think we look at these Addisons, these speedy guys, and like if they're getting, it's like Puka. If they're getting more than 7 targets a game, like it's not going to last. They're just going to see a lot of injury. I'm not scared of that with Waddle. He's a better textbook guy, better hands, better route running.
I would agree with you. The one thing that does scare me about Waddle, and like he's my favorite football player in the world. Like I love the guy, but it's the injuries. Like he's consistently getting banged up every other week. Like whether it's the ankle or a knee, like he'll play 2 games and then miss 1 all the time. And it's really annoying as a Dolphins fan, but like that's the one thing that I'd push back to you on.
That's just because he's a Dolphin, bro.
That's true. That's
Happens
very
to
true.
everybody there.
Yes, it does. So that's what, 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying keep. by the
You're
way.
keeping.
I'm keeping.
You're at 3.
Is Waddle the only one that's been unanimously kept?
No, we kept T.
Yeah,
Oh,
T.
okay.
Higgins.
I gotta
Stupid.
help myself.
Okay.
All right, number 7. So you're
He's maxed
cooked.
out.
You're maxed out.
Oh shoot.
He didn't
Yo,
realize that he had to
cut
cut
Jalen
high.
Too late.
Cut Jay. No, wait,
Stuck
wait,
with
wait, wait.
Are you taking it
Cut.
back? You're taking it
Cut.
back. You're cutting him.
Yes.
Okay.
Cut that boy.
Did I say 7?
Yeah.
Number 7. Nico Collins.
I only have 1 left.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
Keep in mind, if you keep him, you're subject to look like an idiot after I say
yes,
this last
I
name.
know. I'm going.
But
I'm
I couldn't
gonna
say,
cut.
like, Kevontae
I'm going
Turpin.
to cut.
You're gonna cut Nico?
Bro, I feel like this guy's gonna say like Justin Jefferson
Nico-
or Jamar Chase, bro.
That
Which I think he is at that level.
He's top 5.
I say
last year top 5.
Last year, top 5.
If he didn't get injured, he'd be top 3.
He would have finished top 3. I don't think he's a top 3 talent.
Yeah.
But he would have finished top 3.
Yes.
You said you're cutting?
I'm going to cut.
I was deathly afraid that he was going to hit me with CD Jamar Jettas. I kind of don't think that's going to happen.
Well, there's one name left, so I don't think that can happen.
But yeah, I don't think it's going to be one of those 3, personally. I'm going to keep Nico. I'm really optimistic about his future in Houston. I know he's like 27 or 28, but we're talking about... I'm not optimistic, actually. Never mind, because they just traded their entire O-line.
Okay.
But CJ is an amazing deep ball passer. He really rips the ball. I just think he needs protection and he needs time to make reads because he doesn't have all the IQ in the world. He's not a quick processor, but he makes better reads than Jordan Love, and that's all it really takes in this league. Nico was on pace for like 1,800 yards last year. I think he was the yardage leader for several weeks before Jamar took over, and it was just because of injuries. Like, Nico would have been the yardage guy. Take Steph Diggs out of the picture. Maybe they got somebody to supplement since Tank Dell can't really stay healthy. I still think Nico is probably getting top carries and top yards in the league. I'm going to keep him.
I like that. So are you keeping?
Because now I'm thinking about it. I kept Puka. But I would cut.
It's too late now, brother.
You can't. You can't cut Puka Doncic at this point.
It's one name left.
I can't take the one name, so you gotta take it.
Taking a chance, I'm cutting.
All right.
Okay. So, going into the final round, who did you decide to keep?
T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, and Nico Collins.
And Tar?
Puka, T. Higgins.
The final name, Garrett Wilson.
I'm really sad.
I had a feeling you would be.
No, I don't think I have the wrong lineup even. It's just I love Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Waddle over Garrett Wilson? It's a little steep for me.
It's close, and I think Garrett Wilson has more potential.
Yes. Especially with his role on that team.
I think he's going to look so good with Justin Fields, man.
I hope so, for both of those.
People have been arguing his production is going to just, Fields is not an elite passer. But Fields can force the ball to a receiver one. DJ had 1,500 yards on the 1 year he played with Justin Fields. That's incredible. He just fit right into the Chicago system, which wasn't even a good offense at all.
No.
And he thrived. And people have been shy to put DJ in those top 5 receiver conversations. I don't think he's necessarily a top 5 talent. He's just good. But he looked great with Justin Fields. I think Fields is a very good quarterback. And Garrett Wilson is a freak athlete. They played together at Ohio State. I love Garrett Wilson. I think he's going to do incredible things next year.
I really hope he does, because you saw how disgruntled he was with Aaron at the end of last season.
One is he had a good quarterback.
Exactly.
Zach Wilson for 3 years. Aaron Rodgers playing,
1.5.
about to go into retirement home for one. So,
and that's the point I was about to make. So Garrett Wilson is in this discussion. He's borderline in your top 3, and he's in your top 3 on this list. And that's with terrible quarterback play. Imagine if he was with Herbert, Love, or in Dallas. Any of these teams that could use a number 1 receiver. I mean, Carolina. I know you were flirting with that a while ago, but imagine if Bryce and him were able to connect on a weekly basis. That'd be
it's
lethal.
about to be average to good quarterback play with Justin Fields, and I think it's going to be 12 to 1,400 yards
minimum. Yeah,
probably 8 to 10 touchdowns. I think it's going to be an outstanding year for Garrett Wilson, barring any injuries, and I'm just really excited to see it. I hate that I can't take him.
Tar, how do you feel about Garrett being your final guy?
It's a good pick. I'm just trying to think, should I have taken Nico Collins instead? And
they're pretty close.
They're close. I think all the receivers I took are close. Besides, I don't know, Puka. I like Puka. I think I would take Garrett over Puka though.
It's interesting because like Garrett versus Nico talent wise, like I think we can all agree Garrett washes Nico.
Yeah.
And Puka, like even compared to Nico's probably way more talented than Puka is. Puka just gets the production. Like he's week in, week out, he's getting 8 to 10 catches minimum. So like it kind of really depends. Are you a production guy or a potential / talent guy? And that definitely showed in y'all's list.
And what happens to Puka when Stafford leaves too? Stafford is great at forcing the ball. You know, he never had that receiver to force to after Megatron retired. Then he goes to LA, he has Cooper Kupp. Then Cooper Kupp slacks a little bit, and you've got Puka Nacua. When Stafford's gone, Puka's probably going to regress. I think Garrett Wilson already putting up, 1,000 yards here and there with kind of bum quarterbacks just shows that when he gets good quarterback play, he's going to be better than Puka ever has been, truth be told.
I agree. Anything else you guys want to touch on?
I'm good. I think that was a pretty great segment there.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. It's been a pleasure, and we'll catch you in the next one.